Okay. It shouldn't come as any great surprise to know that when you add salt to ice, nothing happens, because after all, you're adding a solid to a solid. So it's not surprising that the salt doesn't do anything. But what happens if you add salt to water? Now, it's possible, of course, that if the water is very cold and you add salt to it, it would behave differently. This is water out of the tap, and it's currently reading 11.1 degrees. Certainly when water's cold, when it's getting towards freezing point, so around about 4 degrees and below, as it approaches zero, it does change its behaviour. So it may be that it's much harder to dissolve salt in water that's very cold. But I'm going to make a 10% salt solution now. So we've got 16 grams of salt here to add to about 160 ml of water, and I'm going to see if actually adding the salt to the water changes the temperature. It'll take a while to dissolve, of course, so just tip that in there. Certainly adding some things to dissolve in water does change the temperature. It actually takes energy out of the water to dissolve it. Now, that apparently does happen with salt to some extent. I don't think it happens very much, but we'll just see if the temperature of this water changes now. It's actually dropped to 10.5 degrees now. It was 11 at the start, or 11.1. 10.3. Don't forget, all we've done is added salt to the water. This is what would happen if you were trying to defrost your track and you added salt to the track and there was any water in the track. 10.2 degrees now, so it has had a significant drop on the temperature there. It's pretty much a degree, just less than 1 degree C drop in temperature. So again, it's just another thing that makes life very difficult for yourself when you're trying to defrost a track. It's holding around about the 10.2 mark. You can also see it's actually quite difficult to make a 10% salt solution, even in water at 10 degrees or 11 degrees. It's taking quite a long time to dissolve, and we're down to actually 10 degrees now. The temperature's got more. And if the water is colder, it will take longer to dissolve. There's no doubt about that. The ease, as you know, if you want to dissolve something in water, if you heat the water up, it will dissolve a lot quicker. So really, we're making life very difficult for ourselves. Oops, I've upset the thermometer now. We're down to 9.9. Still quite difficult to dissolve. Still some solid salt in the bottom of the glass there. 9.8. Most of the salt has gone now, but it has taken a while. Back up to 9.9, so it looks like maybe 9.8 will be the lowest temperature we've achieved there. Obviously the water will be warming up to some extent from the environmental air temperature there, which is about 20 degrees. 9.9. Okay, so we dropped to the lowest point down to 9.8 from 11.1 just by adding salt. So yes, that's going to make life more difficult in real life on the sand. Okay, all right then.